Good morning. Boy, the lighting in here is terrible, isn't it? Alright, Amazon. Flash briefing. Not that we need to see anything.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. An epic ice storm is affecting millions of people in several states. The icing will soon end. But as NPR's Kristen Wright reports, more extreme weather is in the forecast in coming days.
A deep freeze is gripping the northern plains and upper Midwest. Wind chill advisories and warnings are in effect across Minnesota and Wisconsin. The Arctic air will sweep the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. National Weather Service meteorologist Frank Pereira warns that people in Boston and New York
global warming is causing it to freeze.
Record-setting chill.
We call that global freezing,
We're looking at
right?
cold wind chills, with wind chills expected to drop as low as 45 below zero and across portions of the Northeast.
A persistent ice storm is still causing trouble for people in parts of the South. The worst of it in Texas, where utilities are scrambling to restore power to homes and businesses still in the dark. Kristen Wright, NPR News.
The White House says that a top economic aide to President Biden is stepping down. Brian Deese is the head of the National Economic Council. There's no immediate word on who will succeed him. The Pentagon says the U.S. is going to expand its military presence in the Philippines. The Defense Department is going to make more use of military bases in that country. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is visiting the Philippines. He says the arrangement will benefit both countries.
This is an opportunity to increase our effectiveness, increase interoperability. It is not about permanent basing, but it is a big deal. It's a really big deal.
The U.S. is seeking to limit China's influence in the South Asian region, including helping to reduce China's aims against Taiwan.
In the meantime,
European
they're
Union
buying
leaders are in
everything from China
Ukraine
on the
to show
side.
support for the Ukrainian people. The anniversary of Russia's invasion of that country is approaching. NPR's Joanna Kakissis reports Ukraine is eager to show the officials that it is making progress on fighting corruption, because that is a requirement to join the EU.
In his nightly address posted to social media, President Volodymyr Zelensky said the only way to ensure Ukraine's legitimacy is to fire those who abuse power and make lasting institutional changes. In the last week, the Ukrainian government dismissed several deputies and directors accused of corruption or mismanagement. And the Security Service of Ukraine said it dug up a plan to embezzle more than $1 billion through the state-owned oil company and refinery. The EU granted candidacy status to Ukraine in June, but says it must wipe out endemic corruption before it joins. Joanna Kakissis, NPR News, Odessa.
On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 86 points at 34,006. The Nasdaq is up 350 points. That is nearly 3%. This is NPR. Britain's central bank has once more boosted interest rates to 4%. It's part of efforts to reduce that country's rampant inflation. Philip Marks reports from London that consequences are likely to reverberate in the property market.
The Bank of England's decision to further increase interest rates by 0.5% will place even more pressure on businesses that are trying to pay back loans, as well as homeowners looking to manage mortgage payments. Economists have widely predicted this decision, as the Monetary Policy Committee responsible for the rate used by banks to lend to one another voted for the 10th meeting in a row to raise such borrowing costs. The 4% rate represents the highest in 14 years since the start of the Great Financial Crisis, and is designed to discourage consumer spending and draw down an inflation rate that's currently above 10%. The UK economy is forecast to enter a recession this year, thanks in part to the country's struggling manufacturing sector. For NPR News, I'm Willem Marks in London.
Global energy company Shell says its profits skyrocketed last year to a record $40 billion. That is twice what it garnered in 2021. The bumper profits for Shell came as gas prices soared after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. There's also tension as energy companies draw in mammoth profits and consumers face extremely high costs for gasoline and to heat their homes. Well, the weather prediction is in on this Groundhog Day. Local officials in Pennsylvania say Groundhog Punxsutawney Phil has seen his shadow. The old adage, not supported by climate science, says that we will have 6 more weeks of winter. A large crowd, including Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, was on hand to watch the prediction. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News.
On the podcast, Rough Translation, a young doctor gets a request from Ukraine.
skip. How's that for a
In
rough
NASA
translation?
news, La NASA ha nombrado al astronauta veterano acaba jefe de la Oficina de Astronautas del Centro Espacial Johnson de la Agencia. Veterano condecorado de múltiples vuelos especiales, así como ex-marine estadounidense y executor, acaba es la primera persona de ascendencia hispana seleccionada para dirigir la oficina. NASA has appointed veteran astronaut Joe Acaba as chief of the astronaut office at the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston. A decorated veteran of multiple spaceflights, as well as a former U.S. Marine and former educator, Acaba is the first person of Hispanic heritage selected to lead the office. On behalf of President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris awarded former NASA astronauts Douglas Hurley and Robert Behnken the Congressional Space Medal of Honor Tuesday for their bravery in NASA's SpaceX demonstration mission 2, Demo 2, to the International Space Station in 2020. When it comes to NASA, most people look to the skies as rockets, rovers, and astronauts push the boundaries of space exploration. But the benefits of going above and beyond can be found here on Earth through products and services born from NASA innovation.
You don't want that bad karma.
NASA has awarded a modification to extend the period of performance of the Goddard Logistics and Technical Information 2, GLTI-2, services contract with Trax International Corporation of Las Vegas. In weather. Currently, in Seattle it's 38 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. You can expect more of the same today, with a high of 50 degrees and a low of 38 degrees.
1538.
From NASA.
Alright, you're gonna be alright.
La NASA ha nombrado al astronauta vet.
Off. Amazon, tell us a joke. Make it a good one.
How do boogers get married? They tie the snot.
That's gross, and it's not gonna happen. Oh, okay. Have a great day, everyone. What do you know? They're mentioning Ukraine corruption. Shout out to NPR for that. And thank you for all the non-mainstream media that covered it beforehand. Peace. Have a beautiful day.